maybe start with the best experience you've ever had with yoga.
Oh, that's a great question. I would say I practiced a lot in grad school in Columbia, South Carolina, and I went to a yoga studio called Tribe Yoga,
Hmm.
and it was just an amazing practice where everyone was a little bit different, which was really nice, since you could kind of pick and choose what are you feeling that day. But there was one teacher, Pam, shout out Pam, who I feel like clocked me almost, where she knew I'm very much a 110% do the max, try everything to the point, where she would occasionally touch me on my shoulder almost to like remind me it's okay. You can take a step back. You can ease off a little bit more.
Mm.
And it really, I think there was one class where it was almost an, I think she set the intention of actively, like, what would it look like to actively require yourself to pull back? And that's something I always struggle with. So it was really interesting to feel like this almost urge to want to, I don't know, try to do a million chaturangas or contort
Mm.
myself in all the ways versus just holding something
Hmm.
and feeling stable there. And that was a very good experience for me. Yeah.
Was that like competitive drive something that has always been there before yoga?
I would say it's interesting. I think if you think about yourself as like a child,
Hmm.
I think I had a lot of curiosity, and I just liked to, I don't know, it almost evolves into I like to be good at things. And so I used to be a dancer, and I think that's where I developed the perfectionist drive for myself of ballet is a very structured thing where you're trying to do the best and do the most and be perfect every single time. And
Hmm.
I think get the praise and continue to climb the ladder in that way. And so I think that's actually where yoga, when I started almost as a cross training for dance, where we would do some yoga classes within our kind of curriculum at times. And then once I stopped dancing, I started doing yoga more. And at first it was this like, oh, this is like dance. Like I'm flexible, I can do these things, it's flowy, that's fun. And
Hmm.
then it really evolved. Like I remember when you're in three-leg dog and you have your hip open and they're like, keep it square. When you're in Warrior 3 or Standing L and I want to have my hip turned out and they say, keep it square. The physical challenge of that, kind of like in your essay, which you'll read, humbled me of
You're right.
like, this, why is this so difficult?
Hmm.
And then it really went into a lot of that mental aspect where, oh, it's interesting. I started this thing because I thought I'd be good at it. And then I realized it wasn't quote unquote good, which we can go down a rabbit hole in what being good at something
Right.
means. But it was very interesting, I think, for a lot of my teen, early adulthood years, it's been a fear of trying something I think I might be bad at.
Mm.
So it was very interesting to start something I thought I'd be good at
Hmm.
and being good in certain aspects, but really struggling with the, even especially the mental aspects of it, the stillness and the silence of it all. Especially that studio was really great at 10-minute shavasanas at the end and having longer classes with longer holds and taking it slow, that I really had to sit with myself in that
Mm.
and give myself permission to be a beginner at something that just was terribly uncomfortable at first.
Mm. Interesting. And you're a therapist. Tell us about the kind of therapy work you do.
I'd say I'm a little bit all over the place. So I work in general private practice, and I'll see teenagers through adults for a variety of different things, from anxiety, depression, OCD, eating disorders, relationship concerns. And a lot of it, I think I center around, part of it's my existential view of things. So the
Hmm.
sense of meaning and purpose, identity and sense of self. Who do I perceive myself as, and how does that influence the way I think, feel, and behave?
Hmm.
The how does my environment influence me, and ultimately what are my values, and how can I use that as a roadmap to help me lead what I believe is a like kind of fulfilling and purposeful life. So I'll see general practice, but mainly I really love also working with athletes and dancers
Mm-hmm.
because of my lived experience within that realm. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of kind of self-inflicted pressure too,
Mm-hmm.
that it's really, I think, as you strive, especially for maybe a professional career or a collegiate career, I've talked with a lot of athletes and artists that they start to lose the love of their craft. And that breaks my heart because that's something I definitely felt. And what would it look like to almost find this striving but acceptance at the same point?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's been a message I try to share a lot is acceptance doesn't mean complacency.
Mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge where you're at to be able to look at where you want to go. And then within all of that, how can we reignite almost some of those childhood wonder of it all? How can
Yeah.
I find awe in the day to day? How can I find curiosity about myself, the human experience, my life?
Yeah.
Instead of, I think all of us tend to evaluate and judge and criticize and shame.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help us at all.
No,
So,
yeah, no, it doesn't. It's reminding me of a of this essay that I ended up writing while at a My Morning Jacket concert. They do like their own music festival, and we went this past year. We took the Airstream down to Miramar Beach, Florida.
oh, okay, nice.
It was really cool. It's the first time we've taken the Airstream south. It's the first time we've done like a real legit beach trip with it.
Yeah.
And it was just an incredible music festival. But they were, I don't know, I'd had a gummy and I was having a good time. And I wrote an essay in my mind while they were on stage, but it kind of had to do with this like loving what you do. Like I know that even, I've had the pleasure of just like very briefly meeting a couple of the members of the band. So it's not like I know them, but um, I've worked in the movie business. I've met, you know, I've met actors and and musicians,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just I was just in this mode where like I wonder how much they like. I hope that they're on stage like just loving every second of this. Like, I
Mm.
hope they're on stage like knowing how much good they're bringing into the world. Like,
Creating joy.
yeah, they're creating joy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure like it has to become a grind, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you're a musician, it has to become a grind. So I feel like everything that's awesome, everything that's fun, sports, dance, being a musician, it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's the grind
Yeah.
part to it, right?
It's unrealistic to expect something to be fun all the time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, yeah.
One of my favorite quotes, I don't even know who said it, but I remember reading it somewhere that it says, every day's a school day. And I think that can be, okay, some people hated school.
Right.
But every day's a school day, we can make it. There's also parts of school that we really liked, the community of it, the classes we did find interesting that sparked the teachers that we really connected with. And I think even as we get out of school and into adulthood, every day can still be a school day. And so we can have recess and play. Like, oh, we don't play enough. And that's where I think yoga really also invites play into your life. Have play, have connection, have community, and be curious and grow.
Yeah.
And recognize that some of that is going to take intention, which can be a grind.
Yeah,
well.
definitely. So on your like counseling yoga journey, which came first? Like if I had to make up a story in my mind, I'm like hearing this like super competitive dancer who gets introduced to yoga, and the yoga opens up you to like self-discovery, and self-discovery turns into counseling, but I just made that up. So what really happened?
I mean, that's pretty close. Yeah, it's actually funny. As a therapist, I would probably say yoga's done more for my mental health than my own personal therapy in a lot of ways. And when I started grad school for counseling, in kind of the introductory class, they said there tends to be about 3 reasons someone becomes a therapist. Either they've gone to therapy and it was meaningful for them and they want to do the same. They've gone to therapy and it was horrible and they want to change it and make it better. Or they never had access and they want to be able to give themselves and other people access to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it was the latter two. I had gone to counseling in college because the transition from being a dancer to college life was really difficult for me. I never expected that I'd go to college. I was a trainee and was getting professional contracts when I was younger. And so I just assumed that that was the route I was going to take.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a significant injury with my Achilles, and my mental health, honestly, more than my injury, just really plummeted. I lost the love. I started feeling dread of kind of waking up and going there. I started just that negative spiral of I suck, this is pointless, like all of that. And so I was able and very grateful to have the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm done with this. This is not, as we say in maybe yoga, like this is no longer serving me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the ability to go to college. And that was really amazing. And I love that I was able to make that transition. But it was really hard. My whole identity was wrapped up in dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt listless. Like I had no idea what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Part of me couldn't envision the rest of my life because the whole picture I had in my head just shattered. And so I had gone to college counseling, and college counseling can be a really supportive place, but it has its limits. And I think every system can have its limits too. So it tends to be in collegiate counseling, it's very solutions focused. All right, what's the immediate problem? How can we help you so that you can keep going to class and graduate and move on? And for me, I'd go in there and I quite remember hearing, your problems are too much for what we can help you with. And they gave me a packet of resources in the community and said, best of luck. But I was too much into my depression to be able to pick up the phone and call places. And I was 18 years old. I didn't know how insurance worked. I had no money. And so I kind of just let it go. And that happened a few times throughout my college career where I'd go into the collegiate counseling, kind of looking for support. Either they want to send me to psychiatry. And at the time, I was a little bit hesitant in terms of using medication. I've now, of course, come to grow that it's a really useful tool and that can be really helpful for a lot of people, and including myself, and it did help for a time. But yeah, so I'd say my counseling journey kind of started with, one, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't have great experiences in my own personal counseling, and maybe even 3, not really a whole lot of access. It wasn't something growing up ever talked about. I didn't even think of it as an option until I got to college and they told us about the health services. And I was like, counseling? I almost didn't even know what that was. And then as I was an exercise science major in undergrad, thinking I might go to PT school. And then my senior year, I had this existential crisis of like, I don't want to do PT. Because if you've ever played a sport, there's this pipeline of former athlete to either teacher, physical therapist, whatever that might be.
Interesting.
Yeah, like that's just tends to be where most people go. And I always had people tell me I was a really good listener, I was very compassionate, or they felt comfortable around me. And so I kind of just took that and said, well, let me just go do counseling.
Awesome.
And I kind of just stumbled into it, and I was able to find my passion with it, which was really nice. And it was a very lucky happenstance.
Cool. Yeah. So needed too. I don't know how much you focus on those, former athletes or former young athletes, but I mean, this might be a biased opinion, but I feel like there's a lot of parents that think their kids are going to be pro whatever, soccer players, like the competitiveness of parents on the sidelines of youth sports is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And the pressure that these youth sports leagues put on parents, shit, I remember my son was like 6 or 7, something like that. And he was already playing highly competitive baseball. And it was a league that you had to commit to like full-time. During the seasons, you had to commit to full-time baseball. You could do other things off season, but you had to make a commitment. These were like for 7-year-olds. And so we did a winter off season basketball camp, like just a small camp with an AAU group. And at the end of those, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks long, at the end of the thing, they're like, you should have your son try out for the AAU league. And I said, I mean, he's already in this baseball league, right? Like, and like, well, why don't you let the kid decide, you know? So I was like, okay, you know, I like that. So he tried out. I asked him, do you want to try out? And he said, yeah. And then, you know, he got offered a spot. They're like, well, you know, we want to, you know, offer you a spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm looking at the coaches of the AAU league and the coaches of the baseball league, and I'm saying, you know, what's the commitment here? And they're like, well, he has to choose. He has to choose AAU basketball or, you know, competitive baseball. And I'm talking to, you know, a 7-year-old, like, which do you choose? And I felt gross about it. And if you don't choose the AAU basketball at that age, you can pretty much forget about playing basketball in high school. Like, it's like the pipeline to the next level, right? So when you say no to the competitive league as a young kid, unless you're just an absolute, you know, stud in your field or whatever, you're likely not to make the competitive thing. And so it's even the system. I feel like the system is pushing one sport kids.
And even one position.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm playing one sport. It's that from the age of 6, I'm first base, I'm pitcher, whatever it might be. And there have been so many studies that show that's just wrong. You gotta expand. Start with the expansion and then specialize as you get older.
Yeah.
We're even seeing in schools, right? There's all these magnet specialty schools where kids are specializing almost from a young age versus allowing them to explore.
Right. Yeah. I think the over specialization at a young age is really tricky. It's a really tricky topic. And rather than say a right or a wrong about it, I just feel like what you're doing right now for, you know, young adults who are transitioning from whatever they thought they were going to be or from whatever their parents thought they were going to be is super needed.
I hope so. It's the difference I want to make, but it is interesting. Like, for my own experience, I played violin and danced. And when I was in middle school, I'll never forget my parents saying, you have to choose one. And like, what's the one? And not even just you have to choose one, but you have to choose, like, if you're going to choose dance, like, this is going to be your life in a sense. Wow. And from a young age, having that, like, basically idea of, I remember being told, you're growing up, like, you're basically now an adult having to make your life decisions. And it's so interesting in a lot of people of okay, like, my childhood, it felt like, poof, that was over.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of grief in that. And so I think that's a lot of working with athletes and retired athletes and those different things too, is the grief of it all, the grief of maybe your career not ending up how you wanted it to end up, or the grief of what you had lost through the process of it, the grief of losing the thing itself, and the loss of self within it all too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff. All right, let's lighten the mood.
You want to read your essay?
Yeah, I'll read my essay. So I wrote this in your class. This is so cool. So it's right now it's like towards the end of December. So I've been doing, you like start a new sequence, I guess I'll call it.
Yeah.
Every month. And I love it. I love to see the growth I make from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. But this particular one, when the very first class I took with you in December, I was just like, holy shit, this is going to change my life. Like, this is gonna, and it is right now, just the fact that I'm able to record this whole show sitting on a bolster.
Yeah.
is I would not have been able to do this before the month of December.
Okay.
I could sit here. I'm struggling right now a little bit. Like
Yeah.
this is,
I mean, it's
yeah.
uncomfortable to hold your spine straight up for a long time.
But I got really tight hips,
Mm-hmm.
and I could just tell when you started the sequence that my life was going to change, and it brought me back. And while laying in savasana at the end of that class, I wrote the bones. I write the way my writing process is like I write the bones of a thing in my head, and I write it in my head over and over again until it's ready to spill onto like a typewriter, basically.
Yeah.
And then I edit it and stuff after that, and then
That's so interesting. Do you feel like you have a really good ability to kind of visualize or almost create the picture of the story in your head?
oh, great question. I'm great at and suck at visualization simultaneously. Like I'm really bad at uh, like imagining something
Mm-hmm.
visually, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Although there was these IQ tests that I took as a kid. I'll never forget these things where they had unfolded boxes
Okay.
and they would show the 3D picture of a box so you could see
Mm.
three sides,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had like shapes on the three sides, and
Okay.
then they had the unfolded box,
Yeah.
like it looked like a little Tetris piece or whatever, and they
Mm.
had all different shapes on them.
Okay.
And the whole skill is, can you in your mind visualize them
The movement of them becoming a box.
becoming a box and then pick the right one? So it's like a test of your ability to visualize.
Mm.
So I never visualized them closing. I was like, that one's that one, that one's that one, that's one, that one, that one, that. And I would just go through it like autistically.
Yeah. Just one at a time.
Yeah, and I never thought about what it looked like. So I
Interesting.
would score back in those days. I don't know if it's still this way, and I don't know if this is my memory like twisting the past, but if you were in the 100th percentile, whatever percentile you scored when the scores came back, we got scores back when we took these tests as kids
Mm-hmm.
in language and visualization, whatever, you get a percentile back.
Yeah.
And it was always based on the previous year's test results.
Mm.
So I would always get like the 103rd percentile or 104th percentile. And I always asked, like, that doesn't make sense. How could you be above 100 on something? And they said, well, because you beat everyone that took the test the previous year. Like you beat the
Mm.
score. And to me, that seemed insane that my mind could be the number one thing in a thing. Um, it
Yeah.
still seems like I've made it up. Like saying it out loud right now, I feel like I'm making it up. But it's been part of my life because people would say you're so good at visualizing things, and I would
Mm.
retort and say, actually, I see nothing.
Yeah.
I see nothing. I just know the answer, which uh, was very difficult to explain in
Mm.
school. Oftentimes, like explain your work. It's like this is it.
This is what it is.
What do you want me to explain?
That's so interesting.
So,
Yeah, because the idea of writing an essay and rewriting it in my head, like I'm very much, I would have to just start with writing and then rewrite and rewrite. I couldn't create something, and maybe it's just my idea of my memory. I don't think I could write something in a class and then be able to remember it enough to go home and put it on paper.
yeah, so that's where like I kind of start with visualization as an example of what I'm not good at, but what I am really good at is um, making sound in my head. Okay, so like I have if a song is stuck in my head, it
Mm.
sounds exactly like the song,
Okay.
like as
Yeah.
if I'm hearing it for real.
Mm.
It's not like a
You singing
subtle
the song.
imagination of a sound. It's like the actual sound.
Cool.
Um, so I'm like, maybe that's what people do when they say they visualize things. They say they can see something, like I can hear something. So my voice in my head is like a very loud voice,
Cool.
and I hear other people's voices. Like I he, yeah, I can just hear things really, really well. So when I'm writing the story in my head, it's almost like there's a narrator telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
And the narrator kind of just tells the story multiple times as if the narrator is like in front of a classroom. I was a college professor, right? So like as if I was in front of the classroom telling the story.
Yeah.
And so I get dinged a lot on my the editors like really bleed all over my work. I submit my work to like publications where
Yeah.
editors review it, and it's so grammatically incorrect because I write exactly the way I speak.
Mm.
And the way I speak is not grammatically correct at all.
Yeah.
So there's all these run-on sentences, there's repeated words, there's
Your stream of consciousness.
fragments, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is it really does. I'll hear the story in my head, and then I'll kind of in my times of meditation, just like hanging out, relaxing, or laying in bed at night, like I'll rewrite the thing until I feel like, oh, this one's ready, and then I spill it onto a page. And when it comes down on the page, a lot of people have said to me, like, I've read your first drafts. I thought it was the final drafts. So people that aren't looking at the grammar part.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, it's a pretty well developed story by the time I
get it on the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool. Sorry, I totally took this
no,
down
that
a
was
different
great.
path. I was just curious.
That was good. I mean, it's a podcast about writers, so you know, getting inside how writer's mind works is cool.
It is.
So yeah, it's called. This is published in a publication called Namaste Now, which is on Medium. The editor is Vidya Suri, and she's in India. She's just a lovely woman. She's one of the guests on the show.
Yeah.
My yoga journey showed me that anything is possible. An ego-shattering class eased my chronic pain and opened a new way forward. Oh, I forgot how it started. 41 and buff, a hunk of a man. The divorcee catch. I had my high school physique, dark curly hair, a touch of gray beard, a 29-year-old hot nurse girlfriend, and an overinflated ego. I looked good, felt good, put myself to the test and ran a 13-mile Tough Mudder. That's a military-style mud run with 20-something obstacles. I army crawled through thick, wet slop under barbed wire, plunged into an ice bath that stopped my heart for a beat, and ran through a field of dangling electric wires that shocked me to my knees. My apartment was decorated by the man-child I was free to be. Leather recliners, massive 6 by 8 foot framed fat head of Citi Field behind them, a 50-inch flat screen, vinyl record player, Olympia Nakajima Olympia mechanical typewriter, and ribbon, always half-written poetry. He's a creative, playful, successful, responsible, but most important to this story, buff, single man. I kept the place spotless, mopped the floors, cleaned the countertops, dusted. My toilet screamed to the single ladies, look at my sparkling porcelain. You're in the home of an adult. That's the man whom my girlfriend invited to yoga. It was a beginner's class at the Alexander YMCA on Hillsborough Street in downtown Raleigh. In that multi-purpose room on the ground floor of the community center, I was humbled. My divorcee dude roller coaster high was relatively short-lived, having just come up from lonely and desperate. Now I was plummeting back down to inflexible, awkward, slow, and weak. A spotlight shone on my mat, Bob Parker on the mic. And now, your next contestant on Yoga Ain't Right, Andrew DeMeo. Come on down, dog. My imagination turned hyper self-conscious and my ego collapsed. I suspected all the young ladies' eyes were on me, pictured them laughing, conjured up their thoughts. What's the gray-beard creep doing in here anyway? Looking back now, it all seems so silly. I suspect they had no idea I was there. That, my friends, marked the beginning of a decade-long journey with yoga. It was the winter of 2014. My first class at the YMCA may have been embarrassingly ego-busting, but it also grabbed me. The physical challenge alone was alluring. There I was, cycling 50 miles a week, running 15 more, swimming, weightlifting, and starting every morning with insanity by Sean T. Neither endurance nor strength should have been an issue. Sure, I thought, the flexibility will be a challenge. I don't know any of the moves, but to run out of gas and fail to do a push-up, chaturanga, unexpected. I was striving to be in the best shape of my life. The class was an ice-cold glass of water to the face. But what really, sincerely got me back on the rolled-out borrowed mat at the YMCA, the post-class pain release. A decade prior, in November 2003, my back gave out while lifting my infant son out of the tub. Man, that was an embarrassing moment. I was like, had no clothes on.
Oh, no.
I'm breaking away from the story. I was like in the tub giving him a bath, naked. And I lifted him out of the tub and turned sideways, and my back gave out, and then I was on my hands and knees in the tub, unable to move.
Oh, no.
And I had my baby boy out on the floor outside the tub. Yeah, it was like, what's happening?
Yikes.
I'm too young for this.
The ego.
I remember because it was my 31st birthday. Oh yeah, it was. I'd been hurting for a decade. Didn't know a day without comfort. So that was between 30 and 40. Mm-hmm. The suffering was way, way worse when financially strapped, overweight, and in a doomed marriage. I'd walked around with one hand on my back, the other grabbing chairs, tables, railings, door handles, anything to substitute for a cane. I climb up the mountain from not yet divorced dad bod to Mr. Midlife Crisis dude, shed the need for a walker. I stood tall, filled my 6-foot frame, but the back pain, though it was better, didn't just go away, at least not until after that fateful yoga class. We were riding bikes back to my apartment from my first experience at the Y when my girlfriend asked, "Well, what did you think?" I don't care how mentally, physically, and socially challenging that class was, I said, then paused for a moment in reflection. I don't have any back pain. I'm going back. What was she thinking, I wonder? Oh, great. This guy's a goofball. I gotta dump him. I suppose I could ask her. She said, I do, in the fall of 2016. She's sitting on the sofa next to me right now. Abby's my best friend. We still ride bikes and do yoga together. I have not asked her that question, though.
You should.
So, back in that first year of dating, most yoga poses were just plain impossible. My body doesn't do that, I thought. I had no reason to believe any different. A simple stretch I learned in school as a kid, a forward fold, proved it. I had never been able to touch my toes. I'm picturing myself in high school. There I was in my 1980s shorty short shorts with the angry has to teach phys ed football coach in my face. Are you playing pocket billiards to meow meow? There in that hollow gymnasium, wooden bleachers collapsed against the walls, half standing with left foot over right, the spine slumped over, head below heart, my fingers barely made it to my shins. I turned 53 years old last month. So I'm back in real time. Mm-hmm. This is one of my things. I struggle with time in my stories. Today I'm thinking about this journey. It still seems inconceivable that in my 40s, less than a year after starting yoga at the Y, I achieved what I couldn't touch as a 16-year-old. Fingers were introduced to feet. Abby and I moved in together about a year after we met. I gave up the leather recliners and the fat head of City Field. We decorated together, got a dog, and that's about when we found Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. With my newfound minor improvements in flexibility, the whole post-yoga pain-free glow, and an instructor on the TV in our living room, I spun a New Year's resolution. I'm going to do yoga every day for a year, I proclaimed. Unlike so many failed intentions, that one stuck. 365 days later, the practice unfolded. Yoga wasn't a miracle drug. I didn't live completely pain-free of suffering, but there was a lot less of it. Pain is now an acute thing. A crick in the neck here, an achy shoulder there, a bum knee once in a while. I still occasionally have sore hips, especially when I'm sitting like I am right now. But I used to wake up stiff as a board with excruciating back pain. Mornings today are different. I'm limber, roll out of bed with ease. More importantly, returning to the mat wasn't about pain anymore. Yoga transformed my view of exercise from a physical fitness routine to a practice of mind, body, and soul. I connected to all three. What was distinct became one. Many of the once unthinkable poses over time snuck up on me and became achievable. My attitude changed. Impossible, I'd think? Nah, possible. Someday. I guess we'll find out. See, my wording was different after class, if you remember, right?
Yeah.
So I edited it. I wrote this memoir while lying in Savasana after hot yoga with M at Homebody, who I'm sitting here right now with, a studio in Raleigh. It's been 11 years since the first class at the Y with my girlfriend, now wife, still hot nurse. My editor let me leave that one in there. She wrote a little note that said, you can keep that one. M had us flowing through moves that for me are currently impossible. Currently, 3 weeks ago, 90-90 hips on the left, hovering through eagle arms to 90-90 on the right. Nope. Reverse half moon down to kundalini squat, down into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Nope. Oh, except yes, today. She starts a new sequence every month. This one was the first for December. 10 or 11 years ago, I'd think, I have no business in here. I'd have been laughing and falling from one-legged something to a dead bug. I'd hear Abby giggling softly by my side as I overplayed the waving of my arms and legs in the air, my back pressed against the mat. This is impossible, I'd whisper. But I would have gone back. I did go back. Today I think different. Say to myself, I can't wait to see where I am at the end of the month. Sitting on a bolster doing a podcast. What I once thought was impossible forever has become possible someday. So many somedays have come. With each one, I've stopped being surprised and instead I'm grateful. Now I look forward to the transformation. Every month, M introduces me to a whole new sequence of poses that include a few impossible for now positions. 4 weeks later, I'm amazed how far I've come. 53 and buff, a married man, still a hunk. My hair still dark and curly, but thinner. My beard all gray. I do warrior pose, half moon, and more poses than I could have dreamed a decade ago. When discussing yoga with friends and family, they'll often say, I'm not flexible, I can't do it. After 11 years of practice, my body may have lengthened, but it's my mind that's become more flexible. My ego, maybe still a touch overinflated. Thank you so much for inspiring that.
Thank you for being inspired. That's really wonderful that you're able to see that growth. I think that's the biggest thing when someone comes for the first time, the statement of, oh, I'm not flexible enough. And it's like, oh, it's not about that. It's a byproduct, but not the thing you need to get started.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's taken me 11 years to figure out, or I don't know how long, like where it really hit me, but the idea that where I'm inflexible is where I'm resisting, like where I'm blocking myself. It's like where usually I'm trying to push through something that I can't get to. And now I realize it's letting it go and somehow getting there, or super opposite. Like I really have a hard time reaching my back foot in certain poses. And I think in the past I would like try to move my body towards my back foot. And now I move away from it. and it gets closer, and it's like, isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the broadening of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If the one thing isn't working, do I just get pissed off at that, or do I see what other ways can help me get there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, that's you even said like in the 90-90 with the reaching back instead of keeping that.
Yeah.
It's still the same sensation, even if it isn't the same as the person next to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks different, but it's still as meaningful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have time to play a whole mind game? What time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm really excited about this one. Although if you have a tension that you're like, oh man, I want to play the whole mind game with this tension.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay. It was really hard for me not to like pre-play it, so I haven't played it myself yet. So
Okay.
I have no idea what's going to come out of it.
Sweet.
But in the class this whole month, you've been saying like to find the balance between effort and ease.
Mm. I had a feeling this is what you were going to go with. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start just by saying that the visual, so me being bad at visualization,
Mm-hmm.
I do visualize, whether bad or not, and I struggle with the words balance between.
Mm.
And for me, when I hear balance between, what I visualize is a balance beam with a lever in the middle.
Weight scale kind of thing.
Yeah, weight scale kind of thing, or a seesaw. And I imagine effort on one side and I imagine ease on the other side. And when I feel like finding the balance between effort and ease, just the wording of balance between makes me think about moving towards the center of this thing. Which was like, well, what's wrong with that? And I guess what's wrong with it in my mind is that if balance and ease were kids on a seesaw and they wanted to find the balance between it, it would be no fun. They'd be in the middle of the seesaw and there'd be no more play.
Yeah.
And so in order to play between the two ends of the seesaw, you have to think about, well, the whole thing with the whole mind game is like maximizing two things. And what's the shadow side is the minimizing of two things. I think I never really talked on the show about like, I feel like a lot of people default to maximizing one. I really don't talk about this too much, right? Like if we think about effort and ease, some people might max out effort and minimize ease. So the seesaw is like always out of perspective, right? And then maybe other people are just taking it easy all the time, just too much ease, but they don't have the effort. So I do believe that it's finding a balance of effort and ease, but it's finding a balance through the whole mind game, right?
That's not diluting either, it sounds like.
Right, not diluting it. Yeah, exactly. So
cool.
You've listened to the show enough time, you know how the game goes, but I'll ask you, what do you think is the best of effort?
The best of effort, I'd probably say growth. Like recognizing potential, like recognizing how much I can accomplish in that way. And I think I was going to say pride, but I think that one can go either or. And pride might be a bit of a shadow side too.
Interesting. If you put a ton of effort into something, usually feel really proud about it, right? When it's done.
That sense of agency over it. This is from me.
Yeah. Now it's like making me think about, I've got a couple of pieces that are being published in an anthology this month. It's like out right now. And the amount of effort that I put into those two pieces is way more effort than I put into most of my writing, because I like revised it again and again and again, and wanted to make sure it was worthy of, anthology versus hey, I want to publish an essay on Medium. I can't over edit it. It would just I would never have enough
Mm,
time. So I kind of have to put out like just reading that essay to you right now is like, wow, that essay needs a whole lot of work to be like worthy of maybe a public of it was worthy of Namaste Now. Nothing against Namaste Now, but it's like it's not New York Times or it's not the New Yorker worthy, right? So there's
sure.
like levels of that. So I just
Mm,
it's interesting to think in terms of putting in a ton of effort to something is something I'm absolutely proud of, right? So I kind of like
hmm.
it's just an interesting. I can see how it fits on both sides, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, cool. What is the best of effort? I want to. What else is the best? What am I thinking is the best of effort? Uh, it's like I'm thinking about this thing I used to tell my kids that I was a youth baseball coach, and I would say like control what you can control. It's like
Mm.
your effort and your attitude, right?
Control the controllables. Yeah.
Control the controllables, and effort seems like something that is within my control, right? Uh, and so to me, just that makes that makes it something I like, right?
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know what's the best of it. It is something that I can
Hmm.
control. I don't know. That's a weird way to put it, but it's controllable.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um,
Well, and it's interesting in the controllable too, and maybe this is getting ahead of ourselves within the ease part. Have you heard of the 80-80 rule within like training for athletes?
hmm. No, I feel like I've heard of the 80-20 rule in various places, but not 80-80. Tell me about 80-80.
Okay, I might be getting this completely wrong, so I'll have to
Ooh.
look it back up.
Okay.
So no one take this for fact, but I'm pretty sure that they tell you to work at 80% effort 80% of the time.
Oh, okay.
It's a way of
Yeah.
like periodization
Yeah.
of not burning out in that
Right.
way.
Okay.
And so I think whatever, it may not be 80, but whatever that
Mm.
rule is, I
Mm.
think is a good idea of like effort is controllable, but it doesn't mean the controllable of give all the effort all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That it is that what is the zone I want to be in?
Yeah.
What's the zone that might be most like supportive for me now? And it may not be the extreme effort, it may be this effort or
Uh-huh.
maybe this effort.
Okay. Yeah, I it's very different than what I was thinking with 80-20.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a lot of sense. 80% effort 80% of the time. Yeah, we'll have
Mm-hmm.
to look that one up.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly,
It's
but
okay.
something like that.
Yeah, we're not
Mm-hmm.
here about perfect accuracy. Um, all right, what do you think is the worst about effort?
Mm. I mean, I'd probably say burnout is a big
Mm-hmm.
one, right? When we have, well, I even say when we don't feel like we're in control of our effort, when we feel like we have to, we burn out really quick.
Yeah.
Um, and I'd say maybe sometimes it's, see, this is where I get really nitty gritty into things, is it's not necessarily this is bad about effort,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we can have a loss of enjoyment when we feel like when there's a lot of pressure in the effort
Mm.
or expectation.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so maybe loss of enjoyment
Yeah.
of it or fun.
Yeah. Less. Yeah. Yeah. Loss of
Mm-hmm.
joy, less fun.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
maybe even constraint. Like some
Ooh.
effort takes a lot of maybe focused constraint in that way
Mm.
versus I see if we can reduce the striving towards something, we open ourselves up more.
Constraining. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that word constraining, but the funny thing is it leads me it's very much in line what I think is the the dark side of effort. Um, I think I'm trying to think about the best way to phrase it. To me, it's like a it's seductive.
Mm.
Effort is like a seductive way to think that you can achieve something,
Mm.
right? So I think I overuse the example of being in the ocean with a undertow and how to get back to shore. It's like very seductive to just effort your way back, to
Mm.
just like put your head down and swim as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's much better to relax, calm down, and maybe swim along the shoreline until you find a wave that you can start to come in on, right? And so um, effort. So if I think about it in yoga again, it's like if I think that I can't I can't get into a pose because I'm blocked by it. That effort is seductive. It's
Mm.
like I need to I need to try harder to get into the pose
Versus surrendering to it.
versus surrendering to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so surrendering to the ocean, surrendering to the pose is seems counterintuitive. It's so
Mm.
much less seductive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of things, and whether it's sports or school or whatever, it's like trying hard for whatever reason seems like the right way to go.
Mm.
Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm putting seductive.
I like that. Well, it's even this idea of I think sometimes we think, oh, effort is how we get an outcome.
Yeah,
And you can give all of your effort and still not make the team, still not win, still not get the grade, still not make the pose.
right.
And so there's this idea of almost are you putting an effort for the outcome or what is even the purpose or meaning behind the effort you put in?
Yeah,
Because you can have meaning in the effort through knowing that you're trying your best, through knowing that there's personal growth, even if it's not an achievable outcome.
yeah, yeah. I agreed. I like too the when I think about so you said constraining, and so when I think about all those different examples of being in the ocean or trying to get to the pose, it seems like it's such a limited view of how to get there. Like
Mm.
I got one way to go to the shore. Just put my head down and swim that way, and it's constraining. It's just one way.
Yeah.
Whereas if I surrender to the ocean, I've got an infinite number of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe you could have made the team, or maybe something could have happened. The goal that you wanted to achieve may possibly be achievable,
Yeah.
but there's so many more ways to it
Approach it.
than the effort it out, right?
Yeah.
Muscle it out.
Well, I think we can get those horse blinders when we're trying so hard, and we see it in studies of anxiety limits cognitive flexibility, like you're
Mm-hmm.
saying. And so
Yeah.
when you're allowed, give yourself permission to surrender. If we're doing that analogy in the ocean, you start to be able to even like broaden your awareness, and maybe there's someone with a life raft 2 feet away from you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can reach out and grab that help, or you can recognize, oh, let me swim to shore, or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
That actually I don't need to swim to shore. I need to swim back to my boat
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
I like this.
This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I didn't pre-play it because it's like, yeah. All right, ease. What do you think is the best of ease?
I think. See, I was about to say peace, but ease isn't always easy or peaceful, I would say, in that way.
Yeah.
I think this is probably both of, I think there's growth in there, and maybe this is my personal experience of ease has been always the thing I have to work at more so than effort.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say growth, maybe even expansion or groundedness, maybe, I think could be a good one. I think when you work on finding the ease in something, you're very grounded in it.
Grounded. I love how growth, I think, was the first word that you said for ease and the first word you said for effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've struggled with the word ease. I think my first acknowledge of like just struggling with the word was when I did a metta meditation, and it's like, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease.
May you be peaceful and at ease. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know that I want to wish ease on somebody. I don't know that, like, I don't want, to me, a challenge is fun, and easy is boring, and easy is kind of a lame. Things that are easy kind of stink. I don't know. I don't like easy, and I don't know that I would wish easy on anybody. And I started to get easy and ease confused. It took me a really long time to come to grips to what I believe is ease. And now I say it a little different. I say, like, may you face the difficult times with ease. And so where I find ease is like on a really, really difficult, I ride bikes, so I do these long climbs, like it'll be a really hard climb. And this is where maybe for me, effort and ease really, really shows itself.
Coexist. Yeah.
It's, they coexist. They really they have to be at this, whatever the synergy that I'm going to find, or we're going to find today. When I'm climbing up that mountain, if I lean into effort, if I'm at this moment where it's like, holy shit, I might give up. If I lean into effort, I burn out right there, or I lock up, or my body cramps up. But if I can lean into ease, if I can just relax every part of my body, relax my face and relax my shoulders and just relax everything that doesn't need to be working, then all of a sudden I can just keep going and going and going. And so, yeah, like, it's the best of ease for me is that it like melts away tension. It melts away pain. It doesn't make the hard thing go away. It just makes the hard thing not be impossible.
It makes me think of the idea of pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
There you go.
Right? Like, there may be pain, but I can find ease in it. Like we talk about in yoga, there might be something that's uncomfortable, but discomfort doesn't mean I need to pull away from it. And so I can see that even in the physical sense. I think when I look at in classes, effort and ease is finding right alignment. Instead of trying to reach down and touch our toes all the way, what if we gave ourselves permission to use blocks to find the alignment? Because in that is the growth of it too. And so it even is like, it's interesting. I think what do you call it? The non-shadow side, the best of
the synergy side,
the best of effort and ease is that I think they both offer expansion.
Yeah.
And ease is that opportunity that we said of being in the ocean. All right. Yeah. If I allow myself to step back, ease out 10%, I'm going to realize there's so many other ways I can take this. Right? Because right now I'm focusing on solely getting down to my toes. But if I backed out 10%, I can look at, I can also twist. I can lengthen. I can do a little bit. I can do all these different things. So maybe it's even ease gives opportunity.
Yeah. Ooh. Opportunity. The best of ease is opportunity. I love that. All right. How about the worst of ease?
I think we perceive it a lot as it can be lazy. That word never sits well with me.
Yeah.
I feel like more like this idea of complacency. I mentioned, I think maybe earlier when we were talking of there's an acceptance, that surrendering of where something is right now instead of trying to push towards it. And then there's, all right, we're surrendering, but then maybe we get too comfortable and we don't notice that there is a little bit more we can go.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not living up to potential, I think kind of is a big thing.
Ooh, yeah. Not living up to potential. I hear my mom in my head all the time. You could be something if you just applied yourself, she would tell me. You could be something if you just applied yourself. And I would say, Mom, I don't want to burn out.
I am something right now.
I remember when I got the day that I got my PhD, I looked at my mom. I said, "Hey, Mom, look, I didn't burn out."
And I achieved something. How about that?
And I achieved something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst of ease, lazy, complacency. I think it's just boring. Like to me, it's boring. I don't know, like a life of just ease. If it was only ease, that's why I have a hard time in the meditation to wish someone else a life of ease. It's like I don't want to wish someone a life of just boringness.
Yeah.
I also think it's this is where it gets really dark for me. I think that when people have so much, like we live in a world where there's a lot of disparity between the wealthy and the everybody else.
Yeah.
That when you have so much money, that life becomes so easy, that it becomes so boring. That what is fun? What if you can't have fun with money, then how do you find fun? How do you find a challenge?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like at the end of the day, when we look to the things that we enjoy, they are things that we're seeking challenge. They might be somebody's likes to figure out, play the guitar or play golf or play a video game, and whatever our hobby is, the thing that we really enjoy, I'll put my money on that. There's a challenge associated with it.
Yeah.
And so when you have all the money in the world, where do you play? Where do you find challenge? And I think that leads to some pretty dark stuff.
Yeah. I very much agree. I think it's interesting too, because I feel like you might be mixing up ease and easy again.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mix up ease and easy a lot.
Because I think we don't want to wish someone an easy life, because then they'll never grow, they'll never experience the depth of what it means to be alive.
Yeah.
While ease can be, like I think you mentioned in the new language you want to say in that metta meditation of, may you approach all of what life brings with ease.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially face the hard times. May you face the hard times with ease. Right. So
it doesn't mean the hard times go easy on you, but that you don't almost like ease with yourself too. There's ease outward and there's ease inward.
Yeah. May you approach the hard times in life with ease. So what would be the dark side of that? To me would be avoidance. It would be like avoidance. It'd be like I had, my loved one passed away and I faced it with so much ease that I just avoided it. Yeah.
I was going to say dismissive. Yeah. I think that's a really good point, right? Okay. Almost not acknowledging the depth of what things can be.
Yes. Okay. That's the dark side. The whole like the lazy complacency and lack of fun kind of gets mixed up with easy, I think.
Yeah.
But this avoidance dismissive. All right, we're on to the best of the best, but I think you said it already.
The growth.
Well, you said growth and you said growth. You also
Mm-hmm.
said expansion.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, take a moment and just think about the things that you wrote down for the best of effort and the things you wrote down for the best of ease.
Yeah, I feel like the growth and opportunity. Because effort can breed opportunity, but so can ease in that
Hmm.
too.
Yeah, growth and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like it. The best of the best is growth and opportunity. I put it as controlled growth
Mm,
because I
okay.
felt like effort is something that's controllable. And I do think that ease leads to growth. And so when I can dial that in and um, control, like be thoughtful about how I'm growing, right?
Yeah.
Thoughtful growth.
Yeah. Even I think for me that like the groundedness I feel in ease, like that presence you have to give,
Uh-huh.
because growth I think you can, or effort, you can often shoot it to this future. I'm hoping to put effort into getting this place versus ease is very present focused.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a way of being able to stay grounded and present in the effort that you want to put in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe at least I can see it as this kind of, if it's grounded growth or even like grounded expansion in that way.
Grounded expansion. We got all kinds of good stuff
Mm-hmm.
coming here. Yeah, so the synergy, so, you know, thinking about being in the class and saying, find that balance between effort and ease, thinking in terms of find that grounded expansion, find that growth and opportunity. Pretty cool.
I like that. Yeah. I'm going to use this in class for the last week of this flow.
Sweet.
Cool.
We still have a shadow
The shadow.
side.
That's it.
Um, the worst of effort and the worst of ease, what we want to avoid.
Dismissive constraint, I feel like stands out to me.
Dismissive constraint.
Mm-hmm. Kind of holding yourself back through not giving yourself permission to be aware of the
Mm-hmm.
depth of things.
Yeah, I really
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole constraint bit, I think is, I like where you got to constraint, dismissive constraint. That seductive, the burnout is a big bit, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
thinking burnout, I'm thinking seductive, and I'm thinking avoidance. Um,
Seductively avoidant burnout.
yeah, well, um, yeah, it it's actually it's a seduction to avoid the hard thing,
And
right?
even that itself leads to the burnout.
It is the burnout,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, if I try harder to climb the mountain, I burn out, and
Mm.
then guess what? I'm not climbing the mountain anymore. So I avoided it. It's
Mm.
like, and I think it comes out in my language too. Like, I can't touch my toes. I can try harder,
Mm-hmm.
But it's really just avoidance.
Because what's the point? Why are we focusing so much of our energy on trying to touch our toes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a big thing. There's the distraction point almost, the avoidance of what is really happening in our life or what's coming up for us that we see a lot of the like workaholic kind of things,
Yeah.
overinvestment in one area of our life when it really means we need more attention in other areas.
Yeah. Like if I feel like I'm burning out in something, what am I really avoiding?
Mm,
It's the seduction
I
to
like that.
avoid something else. Um, and it sounds like really, it sounds like the devil when I think about it in the ocean. It's like, why am I being seduced to swim towards the shore? Like
Mm,
that sounds really, who's seducing me to do that? That's
mm.
terrible seduction.
Well, and it goes to the sense of safety,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mm.
we feel that urge, that rush to push to go because we don't feel safe in allowing ourselves to surrender where we're at.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Grounded expansion, growth and opportunity. That's where we're trying to go.
I like this.
Yeah. This was fun. Thank
Yeah,
you for taking the time to do it with me.
of course. I really appreciate your space that you give for the deeper meaning of things. And it's always a pleasure to have you in class and in the community. And yeah, can't wait to hear my weird voice when I listen to this on my Tuesday drives.